So here I've written another test that does a search functionality and then makes sure that the search was executed. I copied over this initial code from test 3 that goes to the complicated page and then validates that the complicated page has been loaded. And copying it over, I broke which of the principles. It's obviously not dry, so up for refactoring in the future. Anyways, so did that, and then I wrote a search method that takes in a search term. So the search method is very simple. It uses the search box to send the keys of some string, and the search box is stored in our object repository, and I used XPath to find it by searching for all of the roles called search and then picking the second item on the page. There were 3 items on the page when I was using developer tools to find it. Then, utilizing the search button, we click it and perform our search. The search button I found by using the ID search submit, and I searched inside of the search box that was returned. So once we perform the search, then I just did a simple assertion to make sure that we are no longer at the complicated page, that the complicated page is not visible. Now, this is not the best way to do it. I would, if I was actually writing a test, I probably would return a page through the search option and then validate that I'm actually on that right page. But again, my goal is to show you guys concepts and struggles that automation engineers face. So I'm trying to conserve time and let you focus on the most important aspects. So I just did it in the simplest way possible. Again, copying over another assertion, possibly another option for implementing the dry principle. So let's step through this just to make sure that the code actually works. I'm going to debug up to this point and then step through the rest. I'm going to step inside of this method. And one thing I'm going to do here is utilizing the immediate window in my IDE to execute these commands right here to make sure that they work, rather than using my IDE to actually step over these actions and get an error and then have to restart. I'm going to use the IDE to execute these commands and then figure out if they work or don't work on the fly. This is really beneficial because many people will try to step over this, and then if something has gone wrong, they'll get an exception and they need to restart running of their test, which is really annoying. So this is something that I've seen being done over and over, and I want to teach you guys this technique. Now, it's really easy in Visual Studio. I assume that you can probably do it in most other IDEs as well. Let me show you how to do this. So I'm just going to take this statement right here, pull up my immediate window, and then I'm going to execute it. And if it's executed right, then we should see a search value filled out here, and it wasn't. 1 second, let's look at this. Alright, so I think the problem was I was looking at this element, which is the entire form, and I don't think you can type into this element. So rather, I'm going to type into this input, which has an ID of type, an ID of value s. So let me try to debug that here live. Excellent. Did you see how that worked? That's the beauty of this live debugging. is that it allows us to figure all this out on the fly. And it's most common with element locators. Sometimes I think they're gonna work in developer tools, and then when I go to Selenium, I just, mess things up. Everybody makes those mistakes. So I'm gonna go back here to the search box and update that.